Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Hello.
So, Vaughn, how would you like to spend your winter in the Krot?
Studying, scrying, watching the city rise from the hills. Hear that rumbling? That whooshing? That's the sound of mountains rising.
Hmm.
Because there are a few things to scry on. Maybe there will also be a trip to that ghost village to see what we can do there. I don't remember exactly which hex it is at.
It was near the swamp, right?
Yeah, might have been this actually. This one or this one.
One of these.
So I'll spend some time preparing for this, gathering a warm winter blanket and bedroll and such. Wanted to ask what became of the Cyclops' skull. There were visions of it. So I think that was brought to Platos and set in front of his altar. It's probably as big as his shrine, right?
Yeah.
Did he move in? Does he live in the skull now?
I don't think he lives in the skull now. That's not quite his jam. But as a nearby decoration, it'll work until it starts to rot.
It's been 3 weeks. It's probably rotting and stinking next to his shrine. Has he picked the meat off of the skull?
He has eaten the one eye from it.
Oh my.
That is all.
What did that come out as?
You mean, how did that pass?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't.
Okay.
He ate it, and he just got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's maybe a good 10 feet long now.
Wow. Does he fit in his shrine, or is he just like bursting out of it?
He takes up a good amount of space instead of having like a large shrine to wander. He's got like big area he coils around with his tail in one room and his head maybe in another room, body in the middle room.
How is the cockatrice pit? Just fine?
It's fine. The animals have not eaten a single thing, and yet they still cluck about, leather bags over their heads, bumping into each other, pecking at the ground helplessly. Living a bizarre existence of no sight, no purpose, nothing to terrorize or turn to stone or murder, as is their better nature.
Mm-hmm. My little wizard's lair is turning pretty freaky, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Really is.
Okay, the ghost town actually isn't that far. Let me see. It's probably still 2 days. But I think it is this first swamp hex here on the border of the forest. That will still be 2
days.
Probably 2 days there. Probably 1 day there, 1 day back. No, not quite. Probably 3 days total.
Because you can do 2 mountains, or 2 hills, I mean. 3 if you force march, yeah.
Yeah. But the forest goes... Oh, no, those are forests in the hills, maybe? Maybe they're just
forests in the hills have the same movement rate as unhilled forests.
While I am doing all this studying, I
details.
will experiment with the clairvoyance. Oh, it only goes a mile or 5 miles. That's not far at all. I thought it was
Clairvoyance, the spell?
range 1 mile per level. Is that real?
God, that makes... How have we not noticed that?
Yeah, we've definitely abused that spell.
Yeah, it felt like it was too easy to abuse. Now this makes... Oh, hold on,
Range
it's the
unlimited.
conjuration. Yeah, there's the conjuration version and the divination version.
Oh,
Now.
did I learn the wrong one? I guess I've got, let's see. Tossing material components into the sky? I toss the crystal ball into the sky? Summons into being a singular eyeball? Then I can move the eyeball around. Okay. So the crystal ball becomes an eyeball. Is that what happens? I toss it into the sky and it becomes an eyeball?
Becomes the eyeball, which then flies around, and then whenever the spell is over, it returns to an eyeball and drops to the ground wherever it is. But this is not like a magical crystal ball. It's just a simple crystal ball.
Okay. That is not what I thought, but it's interesting. I have Clairaudience in the other spellbook. Okay, then. Well, that's certainly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I will not be doing the scrying I thought I was. I was planning on checking in on the Medusa or... Yeah.
Yes. You would need to be level 95 to reach the Medusa from here with that spell. But there are other ways of scrying at distance.
What did you say, level 35?
95? That's 95 miles away from you. Yeah. But there are other ways of gathering information that don't rely on scrying. You could send people there. You could get closer and then try and scry from just across the way.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask you could ask your demigod or your mountain witch.
I'm okay. What has become of the offering bowl to Velthara? I think if nothing else, it may have been added to the blood fountain.
I was just going to say it probably replaces the bowl at the bottom of the blood fountain.
Yeah, that was the upturned shield of Remus.
Remus, yes.
But it maybe I just set it inside the shield, so it's a shield with the crystal ball inside of it. I don't know. Whatever's fixed. But yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Velthara will mind having her altar placed there.
No, I think that's quite the spot to put it.
So at some point this winter, Devon bundles up in a nice sheepskin cloak and sets out to the ghost town. Does it snow here?
No, this place doesn't typically get cold enough to snow.
Okay. We did bring back a bunch of livestock from the Cyclops that I forgot to describe, but we herded them all home and probably fed them over the course of weeks to the giant. But
That's true. Your giant will take a large amount of food. I believe he is worth the investment.
Mm-hmm. So, some winter day, Devon will get antsy and head off to have another look at this ghost town.
Out we go. Full on MP by now, for certain.
Yeah.
So force march. No, you're not wanting to force march,
no,
right? You're doing 2 days.
Nope. 2 days.
Okay. You can make your way to the remnants of the ghost town.
Okay, so I nap where I sleep one night in the hills, huddle amongst my sheepskin.
Yes.
And then return at the evening to this ghost town on the swamp. Wondering as I enter these abandoned buildings, what happened here?
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to divine with the use of legend lore? Did I already try that? This ghost town, let's see.
I don't think you divined what happened in this ghost town. I don't remember that, but might say otherwise.
I'm looking at the wiki at that section. I cast the detect magic. I know I did. That night, as Devon sleeps with the legend lore of the crown, he sees the deaths of many people in the town. He wakes to find a human ghost woman in front of him. The ghost moves toward Devon, whispering warmth, warmth. I meme spray to no avail.
Mm-hmm.
These other ghosts in the building, yeah. So I will wander around. Let's see what's the AoE. 30-foot cube. How big is this village?
Probably 600 feet across.
It's a lot of dispel magics.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So I'll start with a detect magic, I think.
Where would you like to cast it? It is a large village, of course.
I'll use it upon myself. At evening, before the ghosts fully awaken.
When you say you use it upon yourself, what is that? I don't understand.
I snort the dust, and I see arcane
You just
auras.
see. Yeah. Well, as the sun sets, you snort your crystalline dust, gaze around the area, and sure enough, you can see the shapeless masses of magic that let you know there are creatures here, unnatural creatures residing in the houses.
Yeah. Last time I felt the faint sense of magic, but I felt that I wasn't alone, but a source wasn't apparent. I mean, maybe now that I know more what I'm looking for, I'll spend these 5 minutes wandering through the village, trying to feel out if there's a center to this disturbance, or if it's just or if it's just many spirits.
You can scope out the village and find at the very center of the village, there's sort of like a communal fire pit. And it is here that you can feel the strongest point of magic.
Mm-hmm. Are there the remains of the fire pit now?
Mm-hmm. They're still here. It's mostly just stones. The ashes have long burned out in a way, but you can tell that this was once a place where people came to enjoy the light.
Through the detect magic, do I see anything special? Do I see like the form of an original fire? But the spiritual remnants of a communal fire? Or are there spirits gathered around it?
No, there are no spirits gathered around this place, but there is what would you call it? Like a core to it that's almost pulsating, almost as if it's beating.
I guess I study this for a moment with the detect magic to give me. Oh, this doesn't give me schools. It gives me like the aura, right?
Right. The sun continues to set over the swamp. Hear the crows cawing as the evening onsets, arrives, as the evening arrives.
I'm going to attempt to dispel the magic here in this village. Hopefully sending these spirits on their way. But I may kind of wait studying this central fire to see if I can make any sense of its shape or its form, especially as the sun goes down.
Yeah, do that. So your legend lore spell revealed, what was it again?
I think I may have taken liberties there. I think it was as I was sleeping in the village, I had haunting dreams of like visions of the people dying in the village.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I really got much specific.
Mm-hmm.
There were claw marks around, weren't there? So maybe they were shredded by trolls, but I think all of that was kind of vague.
Yes. Alright, let me roll some dice here. We've got a detect magic going on. We've got a legend lore Serona, which hasn't been used yet, but sort of was used.
Well, I would use it here. I mean, I would use that as I'm expecting the village if it is a possibility. I used it before, but I think I kind of took liberties with it and had it like I forgot to use it on the village or something, and then I kind of was, as I was sleeping there, I was like, maybe I use it and it gives me visions in my dreams.
Yeah.
Detect magic only lasts for 5 minutes, so that was pretty quick. But maybe it's going as I'm legend.
Yeah, you can find the center of the village where the fire pit is, and the pulsating magic there. And when you legend lore, you are certain information regarding the place thing. Reveals information only the place is noteworthy, which this is. She casts legend spell once the sword. Okay, so this the legend that you get from here is, how do I put it into like full verse? This is the place where, I'm not going to put it into cool verse. This is the place where the demigod Seltzer sealed away a tribe of cannibals.
Then does it seem as if like the stuff is already sealed as best it can, and I probably shouldn't mess with it? I guess there's.
You know, maybe. Someone has definitely sealed away some cannibals here, but their ghost forms apparently come out at night, still trying to get that warmth that they've craved in life.
Mm-hmm.
Will it dispel magic, dispel the ghosts, or will it dispel the seal that holds them?
Right. I don't think I want to fuss with that. An identify might be useful during the day.
Hmm.
Um, do I have that? Let's see how I noted it. I do have the weight of the owl feather wine listed on my character sheet, so I think I do have the possibility to cast it identify out here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I will rule that because it's on my character sheet, I've got it, even though in hindsight, I mean, like, it probably makes more sense to have that wine sitting on the shelf in my laboratory.
Yep.
Apparently it's still on my person.
Yep.
I will not stay here tonight. I will leave. I know what I'll do. We'll use my new clairvoyance. So I will walk a few miles away as the sun is setting. Temporarily going semi-blind for a minute, but continuing to walk.
Yep.
And then I will cast my new clairvoyance. Do I have crystal ball? Where is that guy? Ooh, I don't think I have my crystal ball, but I think I should. It's not what I imagined, right? It's an eyeball-sized crystal ball.
Mm-hmm.
I was imagining like a crystal ball.
Well, it's probably about fist size. It's probably a little bit bigger than an actual eyeball.
Yeah. I think it will. I think it should be with my component stuff, my spell components. I thought it was a full-on crystal ball that would have been left.
No, it's not like a big scrying ball.
I think it is just a spell component, and with the rest of Seltzer's spell components that I've been carrying with me.
Yep.
Also, what's the difference? I've got a quartz crystal. Oh, that's for Remagic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If a small glass or crystal ball cannot be found, the eye of a creature may be used instead, but it is consumed in the process. So, if you ever need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you scry upon the village. The spell lasts for as long as you can concentrate on it.
Yeah, so I clear a small circle around myself, sort of a hill up in the woods overlooking the village. I throw the crystal ball into the air, and I think it like hovers, and like an eyelid opens, and it becomes a floating eye. And I send it into the village.
Okay. The eye twists and turns and flies into the village, where, after a little while of waiting, you can see ghostly figures moving around in the huts.
It can fly, so I think it will fly about 100 feet above the village and look down upon it to avoid getting snatched by one of these spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're flying cannibal spirits, which would be terrifying.
No, they seem to move around as if on the ground, although they, don't quite touch it.
And I think I'll spend the night, or as much of the night as I care to, surveying this village, counting how many cannibal spirits I see.
Count 12.
12. Okay.
12 cannibal spirits.
Is there anything special in the central fire? In the dark, does it turn into a real fire with humans roasting on a spit?
No, it does not. The fire pit is empty and devoid of heat or warmth or flames of any kind.
Well, I survey the village, and if there's nothing else, eventually the eye will return to me.
Making some notes so I don't forget this shit next week.
Okay. I don't imagine this will continue to next week.
Probably not, but, we drop some lore. It's gotta stay.
Yeah.
Right. So you scry on these 12 spirits walking around. You notice the fire pit is empty and cold. hopefully nothing going on here. Spirits just sort of mill about in the emptied town. They don't seem to do anything, stick to their homes. You can't hear anything. You can only hear what's actually around Devon, not around the eye. So there's no audio to accompany this. And eventually you return the eye to you and go to sleep.
Yeah. Not particular. I think I bundle up. I doze. I don't. Yeah. Can't exactly keep watch myself, but yeah, it's not a particularly restful night's sleep. I'm on edge. But it's dark and travel is ill-advised.
Certainly is.
So I will camp out in the woods until morning.
Okay. Come morning, you can return home.
No, I will return to the village and prepare it for an identify. So I am attempting to identify the enchantments cast upon the village. So I am kind of let's talk about how an identify could be used in this way. I mean, so I think instead of like preparing items for identification, I'm preparing the village and maybe relevant seals or enchantments for identification. So I will spend 8 hours the following morning patrolling the village, removing anything that may interfere with such divinations. And so I would like to identify the nature of the seal that Seltzer cast on it. And maybe if some spirits get caught in the mix, them as well. Does this seem like a fair use of the identify spell?
I think it does. Certainly does.
Using the detect magic, was I able to guess where the seal was placed? Was that in the center of town? Was that what that?
That's what that is. That
was?
pulsing is the seal that, in theory, holds these creatures at bay. These people.
Is there an object there that the seal is cast upon?
It is the fire pit, the ring of stones, and the hole within.
Okay. Yeah, so I spend 8 hours preparing the village. So most of it is probably on the fire pit. I don't know, sweeping away any plant matter or I don't know, anything that may, let's see, purifying the items, removing influences that would corrupt and blur their magical auras. So I don't know, doing wizard shit. Arranging the pine needles in auspicious patterns to direct the flow of magic. And I prepare the village for my divinations. I do also have an arcanology proficiency. I guess that's the history of magic, isn't it? It's not so much like arcane objects and enchantments. I do have a spellcraft. But anyways, we'll start with this identify. So 8 hours later, it's probably be like 4 or 5 p.m., something like that. And we'll cast an identify.
Okay. Just trying to read my spells here, make sure this works right.
I think it's a somewhat unusual use of identify, if that's what you're thinking. Or do you have an actual spell in mind?
I have an actual spell in mind.
Really? There's not a mirror underneath here, is there?
There is not a giant mirror underneath there, no. But you will
Mirror
learn...
full of cannibals. I should roll my check first, right? Or do I learn something just in the preparation?
No, I think that it's going to take a check. Right? You have a chance of learning information about an item. This is not exactly an item, but it's a magical effect, so I think it's the same.
See if this goes better than my last chance. Oh, alas.
Oof.
I think the nature of the seal eludes me. Is there a chance of identifying the spirits themselves or something? Like, is there a second? So there was the seal placed on them, but is there the magic of the spirits?
There are a few things here. So, give me a second check. we'll just go through the things that I've got mentally, and we'll just see what you can pull out. Okay.
Did you say there's a third?
There's
Third source of
this, and yes, give me a third check. It's the 3. All right. So the last one is the people.
Okay.
You can identify that these people are not just your ordinary citizens. You can feel that there is the 12 ghosts that you see about are casters of some sort. You can't tell if they're divine casters or arcane or necromancers or sorcerers or witches or what their source of magic is, but these 12 people are magically imbued beings that are sealed away on another plane of existence and sort of poking through or reaching through by their connection.
Interesting. I wonder if there would be a way to bolster Seltzer's enchantment. I guess that would have been the check to pass if I wanted to work with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, is there a fourth one? Hold on, there might be a fourth one. No, okay. Perfect.
Is that your cat?
The cat, can you hear him in the background?
Mm-hmm.
He wants attention. He wants to be played
Don't
with.
we all?
No, there's a fourth effect. Give me one more roll. I'm sorry. One more roll.
I'll take it. All right.
The fourth effect is a Forbiddance spell that you can see runs around the outside of the village or along the edges of the village.
Bitenc.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It is a 6th level spell
Seltzer was powerful.
seals the area from teleportation, plane shifting, ethereal penetration. So the outside of the village has this wall around it. So the village cannot be entered via teleportation, plane shifting, or movement across the ethereal plane. Right.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's a pre-spell, isn't it?
It is a wizard spell. There might also be a clerical version of it.
This says, in addition to the priest's holy symbol, elemental forbiddance, elemental forbidden. Okay, yeah, there are both versions. Wait. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. Well.
Oh, hold on. There are... What's going on here? Well, it's still the forbidden spell, but for some reason...
No, it's a priest spell. Yeah.
Why is it showing up in the wizard spell list? No, it is a priest spell. Is my wizard spell list not actually wizards?
I don't know. Are you still sticking by that?
Yes, I stick by that. It's not actually Seltzer who cast the forbidden spell, so it doesn't matter what class it is.
Okay. Well, I think Devon, feeling outclassed, will probably leave this village. As in, these are clearly higher level magics than Devon is capable of casting. Presumably, they've done a better job sealing away this evil than I could. And I fear that attempting to dispel these magic may only cause more problems. Potentially unleashing a tribe of magic cannibals onto the world.
Probably not what you want to do right now.
No. So I will leave rest before returning to Necrot on the morrow.
Okay. Leaving one thing undone for another day.
I mean, it actually sounds like maybe it is done. Seems pretty well sealed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could just carpet bomb the place with fireballs and take care of the ghosts that way.
Mm-hmm. That might work. Right?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, make it better.
One last chance for a random encounter on the way back.
Oh, right. I don't think it's going to be a 1,000 XP random encounter, though. Oh, 100 on the encounter die. Well, that is...
What is that?
I don't know.
Is it an encounter or is it a...
I was doing low is no encounter, high is an encounter.
Okay, then. 100 has to be a good encounter, right?
It's got to be a great
Or is it just
encounter.
free XP? Have I killed everything on your encounter table?
The Tome of Knowledge. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's worth 10,000 XP. Just take it. You have killed all of the big things on my encounter table. So I suppose it could be a cockatrice. That's probably the most scary thing left here. There's actually a couple of other giants running around. I guess you could run across a mean evil giant.
A troll wandering out of the swamp.
Another swamp troll. Hill giant. There actually is a hill giant who lives in this hex right here. Maybe it is the...
Is she still there? They weren't killed by the Cyclops?
No, that one was not killed by the Cyclops, although plenty of other giants were. Ooh. Okay. 9, 1, 2. Oh. Yeah, on your way, leaving the village in the morning, you will see a giant on the horizon as you come to the around a bend in a valley. The giant is there, leaning over something on the ground. D10 for surprise and surprise. No one's surprised. The giant turns back to look at you as you come around the bend.
I will approach. I have a question. The ground here is red. You've described it as being iron-rich soil.
Yes, it is.
Would you consider this dirt a pinch of powdered iron for the purposes of an enlarged spell? I guess I could just conjure spell components, but...
Probably not. I think the iron needs to be concentrated together. I like the way that you're thinking. There's plenty of iron to be conjured with conjure spell components.
Yeah. 2 specific components per level. All right, so I'm going to cast conjure spell component as I approach the giant. 21. 2 per level, so that's 10. I'll also reconjure my fireball components, which is 2 components. Let's see, so powdered iron. So I get 10 total. Let's see, that will be... Let's do 2 more of the guano and brimstone would bring me to... That's 4, and then 6 doses of powdered iron. Let's do 4 and 4. Okay, so I conjure some bat guano, some sulfur, some powdered iron, mundane spell components to replenish my supplies, and I will approach the giant. And I think I might as well just enlarge right out the gate just for just for diplomacy purposes.
So you see the giant. The giant looks back to see you, and you're like, conjuring some spell components. And the giant calls out to you, "Who are you?"
Whoop, 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 whoop. I grow as I approach.
That is a threat in the giant's eye. He'll pick up his club and stalk towards you, waving it above his head menacingly. "I said, who are you?"
I don't grow that. I grow 50%, so I'm like 9 feet tall. I'm like,
Oh yeah, you're still like half his height. And a little more.
Yes. I am Devon, of Necrot. Who are you? How far away did we spot each other? And how close have we gotten in 2 minutes?
150 feet, and once you started to grow, he started walking towards you, so he'll be here in 20 seconds.
Okay.
Devon? Devon, the slayer of trolls? Devon, the keeper of cocks? Devon, the fighter of giants? The slayer of Cyclops? Have you come to kill me too?
That was not my plan.
Stops. Then why have you come to me?
I came to the cannibal village, and I point my spear like north of here to investigate the magic sealed there.
The club still waves in the air, but he stops to listen.
I merely happened upon you on my way home. Who are you?
I am Brutalitops.
Whoa. I thought Brutus had a name. You must be one of the last giants in these hills.
My kind are a dying breed, thanks to you.
Me? I have never killed a giant.
That is not the story I have heard.
Who told you this story? Grendel?
She is the one that you have slain, have you not?
I nod. An abomination.
You
twisted by
mutilated her.
vengeance.
You turned her into that. Did you not?
We all make our own choices, our own pacts. Her own thirst for vengeance mutilated her. She chose to descend that path, become a kinslayer. I merely put her down.
Give me a charisma check.
Oh. With a 50% bonus for being 50% larger?
I don't think so.
I do pass.
He believes your story. What do you want?
I was merely on my way home.
Then take your leave. I wish nothing to do with you. Stealer of children. Whisperer of lies. Agent of Malchus.
I am a PC.
All PCs are inherently clerics of Malchus on some level.
I'm having a hard time justifying murdering this guy, but
I tried, but you convinced him.
Yeah.
Cool. Talitops lets you go.
I let Brutalitops go.
Well, you're walking. He was digging a hole, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess you can walk past him.
As I'm leaving, did you know Brutus south of here?
Yes, I knew Brutus, his wife, his children.
Kronos lives yet.
That is why they call you the stealer of children.
I saved Kronos and brought him justice against Grendel, the one who slew Brutus and the others. You may wish to check in with Kronos. I think he's lonely amongst men, but he is being accepted into our community. He's growing strong, if a bit vengeful himself.
Things you tell him chafe with what he knows. Clearly he's been fed some sort of disinformation about you, and you appear calm and honest with your words, and he believes what you say. It's just not what he's used to hearing. And the gears turn slowly in the large man's head. He is free to leave? He chooses a life with you?
What else is he to do? Live alone in the hills as a child? He would surely starve without our sheep, and his soul would die without community. But it might do him good to meet one of his own kind.
The giant takes off his enormous loincloth, lays it over the hole he was digging, and put some large rocks on it so that the loincloth forms like a shelter over the hole. And then he says, "Take me to your village so I may see the young one."
And I guess Devon and Brutalitops walk back to Necrot.
Yeah.
Within about 25 minutes, Devon will shrink back to 6 feet tall.
Okay. So you guys head back to Acropolis, to Necrot together.
Yeah, how far was it? I guess it will force march to keep up with the giant.
If it becomes clear that you are struggling at any point.
I don't struggle. I have to
you passed your con check.
I passed my con check. He probably has to slow down to keep pace with me. Or I can jog pretty well. I don't know. We head back to Necrot.
On flat or down hills, you are fine. On the up hills, you're a little slow, but it works out. You guys can reach Necrot late. Oh. List. Okay. Well, I see you right back at Necrot, and
Does Talitops do anything other than check in on Kronos, or?
They check in. They chat in the language of giants, which is different than the common tongue, for a little while. And then Brutalitops, seeing that everything is fine, that Kronos is not only not a prisoner, but he's a happy, accepted member of society who's been gifted a 1500 GP necklace of Velthara,
That's all? That a priceless artifact of the gods is only worth 1,500 GP?
1,500 GP?
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Um,
More valuable as a holy symbol. Well,
definitely.
I guess holy symbols are only worth 25 gold, but...
Well, but this one is magical. It's got powers and shit. Get to another day. So Brutalitops tells Kronos that he has a job that he needs to finish, but that he will come by and check on Kronos from time to time. Yes, he does have a hole to dig.
All right. Seems like a good place to wrap up the session.
I think so. I guess you're not going to get the combat XP, but when we come back, I would like to skip ahead some many months, at least, and we'll probably, maybe give you some XP for just the time that you spent researching or something, and we'll sort it out.
24 MP is not quite enough to level the wizard, is it? Let's see.
140.
No, I need about double that. But I think we could probably justify another 1,000 quest XP with some time skipping stuff and just level up both classes to 6.
Absolutely.
I
think that's
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have a wedding episode or just hand wave the wedding. Have you ever done a successful wedding episode?
Yeah, we had one in Miss Click's Devotion.
Yeah,
but they had been building up characters in love for many, many months, and this is some sort of like arranged marriage where you don't really even know your bride to be. There's no emotional connection here.
Well, you've got to flesh her out as an NPC before I can know her.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you want to roll some HP? Because we'll definitely come back with you leveled, and it's more fun to roll it now than later.
Sure. So we'll hit level 6. That is also new proficiencies.
New spell levels.
So we're going to go RD10 plus D6 divided by 2 plus 1. Oh, God, it's bad.
Well, it'll bring you to 35.
Yeah.
That is a bad roll.
Yep. Womp womp.
Womp
womp. Yeah, at least I clear up that half an HP.
That's nice.
I will get a bunch of new proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get a chance to re-roll those identifies. Spell learning. I can try to learn Gateway again.
Mm-hmm.
Minor Gateway. Use that instead of Fireball. I wanted to see if I could use that to terraform Necrot. It's temporary, but I was hoping I could just constantly conjure earth planes to raise mountains out of the hillside.
Oh.
We'll see if that works. Creates a very short-lived solid wall, so I guess it's not permanent, but enough plate tectonics and I might be able to build a tower.
Soon. Well, why don't we wrap it up for the day and head out?
Yeah.
And we will be back next Friday with more Dicing with Death. And then not this Sunday, but next Sunday for Legends of Arcadia Genesis Episode 2. Yeah, and we will have Pawns and Patrons Saturday at 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific?
Your Discord schedule says 9 a.m. Pacific.
Right, but I think that might be wrong. I think it's actually 10 a.m. and I just put it in as 10 a.m. Mountain Time instead of Pacific
Well, if they show up at 9 a.m., will they get a Koibu pre-show?
Probably.
You'll probably be sleeping.
I'll figure it out.
Are you doing critical feedback in
an hour? Yes, we'll be doing critical feedback in an hour. Do you want to stick around for that, or do you have things to do today?
In an hour, I could probably do it. Should probably get dinner started and maybe some things, but
it is 10 a.m.
I'll be around 10 a.m. Pacific.
For
So
pawns and
dacing with
patrons.
death time.
Yep.
Although probably not as late, not as many dropped frames.
Maybe more drop frames. We're doing multi-streaming to many Twitch accounts at the same time.
I thought the more streamers you had involved, the less tech difficulties there would be.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It's quite the opposite. It's way harder. But that'll be it, and we'll be back later. So see you guys around. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.